Step into the shadows!
Every story has legends worth remembering.
And we're here to bring them to life.
From masterminds of chaos to villains lost in time.
We'll explore their stories with a little fun along the way.
Welcome, legends and lore seekers. I am All Night. Together, we'll step into the shadows of storytelling's most feared icons.
And I'm Solara Blaze. If you thought heroes were fun, wait till you meet the villains. They're sneaky, scary, sometimes hilarious, and always unforgettable.
Here on Legendary Villains, we uncover the secrets, origins, and the true power behind the greatest villains from comics, anime, and beyond.
From the diabolical masterminds to the chaotic clowns, we've got the whole rogues gallery lined up just for you.
So, if you love a good story wrapped in darkness and danger,
then hit that subscribe button and join us on the ultimate villainous adventure.
welcome to Legendary Villains. Now let our daring adventure begin.
Welcome back to Legendary Villains, the channel where we explore the darkest, strangest, and most legendary corners of comic book history. Today, we're diving into one of the most terrifying and fascinating alternate universes Marvel has ever created, the outbreak that consumed Earth 2149, better known as the Marvel Zombies universe.
From its shocking debut to its gruesome crossovers, from Spider-Man craving human flesh to Captain America as a decayed warlord, this storyline has become a cult favorite in Marvel Comics history. So sit back as we uncover the complete story of the Marvel Zombies universe, its origin, development, characters, key issues, and its legacy in the Marvel Multiverse.
Creation and debut. The Marvel Zombies universe made its terrifying debut in 2005 in a 5-issue limited series titled Marvel Zombies, written by Robert Kirkman, the same legendary mind behind The Walking Dead, with artwork by Sean Phillips. But the roots of the idea came earlier, in Ultimate Fantastic Four number 21 to 23, 2005, written by Mark Millar. This arc introduced readers to an alternate Earth, later called Earth 2149, where the beloved heroes were infected with a mysterious zombie plague.
In this storyline, Reed Richards of the Ultimate Universe makes contact with what he believes is another version of the Fantastic Four, but instead discovers a horrific dimension where Earth's mightiest heroes have all become flesh-eating zombies.
Origin of Marvel Zombies. The premise was brutal. A mysterious virus infects Earth 2149, turning superheroes and villains into undead predators. Unlike traditional zombies, they retain their intelligence, superpowers, and personalities, but are driven by an insatiable hunger for flesh. The infection began in Ultimate Fantastic Four number 22, 2005, when a zombified version of the Sentry crossed into Earth 2149. He was Ground Zero, the carrier who doomed an entire world. Instead of saving the world, this being unleashes a terrifying hunger virus.
Wait, Sentry? The guy with Superman-level powers? Yeah, no wonder everything went downhill fast.
Exactly. Once bitten, Earth's heroes fell one by one. The infected heroes like Captain America, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, and Wolverine lose control of their humanity. Unlike classic zombies, they still retain their intelligence, powers, and memories, but are completely consumed by an insatiable hunger for flesh. That made them far more terrifying.
I imagine Spider-Man racked with guilt after devouring Aunt May and Mary Jane. Imagine the Hulk, eating endlessly but transforming back into Bruce Banner with a stomach full of screaming victims. This was horror on a cosmic Marvel scale.
The vicious ones. In Marvel Zombies 1, 2005, the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and X-Men were all infected. The most vicious among them? Hulk. His hunger was as uncontrollable as his rage. Every transformation left his victims trapped inside him.
Imagine being inside Hulk's stomach when he turns back into Bruce Banner. That's nightmare fuel.
Exactly. Spider-Man was vicious too. Despite his guilt, he devoured Aunt May and Mary Jane. And Colonel America, Marvel's zombie version of Cap, led the undead army with half his skull missing.
The most tragic fate belonged to two heroes. First, Spider-Man, tormented by guilt every time he fed. His mind was still human, but his hunger was stronger. And Black Panther, oh, this hurts. In Marvel Zombies number 2, 2007, he's captured, mutilated, and eaten piece by piece, but somehow survives long enough to lead the last resistance of humanity.
Development and expansion. The success of Marvel Zombies 2005 to 2006 led to multiple sequels and spin-offs. Marvel Zombies number 2, 2007, set 40 years later, the surviving cosmic-powered zombie heroes returning to a ravaged Earth. Marvel Zombies number 3, 2008, a limited series where the infection goes interdimensional. The comic shifts the action to the mainstream Marvel universe, Earth 616, and reveals that a zombie plague has broken out in Florida after a zombified Deadpool enters the reality through the nexus of all realities. Marvel Zombies number 4, 2009. The story shifts the action to the mainstream Marvel universe, Earth 616, where the zombie plague has now escaped from the quarantine zombie universe, Earth 2149. A new team of supernatural heroes, the Midnight Suns, must race to contain the threat and prevent a full-scale outbreak.
Marvel Zombies number 5, 2010, focusing on Machine Man and Howard Product traveling through different realities. This miniseries takes the zombie infection on a multiverse-spanning mission. Desperate to create a cure, Morbius, the living vampire, the leader of the agency ARMOR, sends two of his most unlikely agents on a dimension-hopping quest, the sarcastic android Machine Man and the perpetually annoyed Howard the Duck. Their goal is to collect samples of the zombie virus from 5 different realities, each with its own unique version of the plague. Marvel Zombies Return 2009. It is a 5-issue miniseries that follows a handful of zombie heroes after they are exiled from their original universe, Earth 2149, trapped in alternate dimensions. Scattered across a new, untainted Earth, they accidentally trigger a new zombie apocalypse, reliving key events from the classic Marvel timeline with a horrific twist. This wasn't just a one-off horror comic, it became a massive sub-franchise within Marvel itself.
Impact on Marvel history and multiverse. The Marvel Zombies universe didn't just shock fans, it reshaped the way Marvel handled alternate realities. It proved readers were hungry for darker, horror-themed takes on superheroes. It also tied directly into the Marvel Multiverse, with Earth 2149 officially cataloged as part of Marvel's grand cosmic map. Marvel Zombies influenced spin-offs, collectibles, games, and even inspired the What If Universe 2021 animated series where we saw zombie Captain America and zombie Scarlet Witch on screen.
Key characters. The central cast of the Marvel Zombies saga included both heroes and villains. Zombie Spider-Man, haunted by guilt after devouring Aunt May and Mary Jane, torn between his heroism and his hunger. Zombie Captain America, Colonel America, still leading with half his skull missing. Symbol of hope turned horror, his body even sliced in half. Zombie Hulk, constantly shifting between hunger and rage, his hunger as uncontrollable as his rage. Zombie Wolverine, claws dripping with blood, unstoppable healing factor but eternally decayed. Zombie Iron Man, devouring civilians while trapped in his armor. Zombie Magneto, one of the first resistance fighters, tragically overwhelmed. Zombie Galactus? Yes, even the devourer of worlds becomes prey. In fact, one of the most shocking moments came in Marvel Zombies number 3, 2008, when the zombies devoured Galactus himself and gained cosmic powers.
Crossovers in other zombie stories. Marvel Zombies even crossed over with other worlds. Army of Darkness versus Marvel Zombies 2007, yes, a crossover with Ash Williams, who is also known as Boomstick Hero from Evil Dead. Published by Dynamite Entertainment and Marvel, bringing Ash Williams from the Evil Dead franchise into Marvel's Nightmare, Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness became a cult favorite. In Dead Days 2007, it is a one-shot comic that serves as a prequel to the original Marvel Zombies limited series. It depicts the final moments of the uninfected heroes as they face the horrifying onset of the zombie plague.
The story reveals how the infection spread across Earth 2149 and how several major characters met their grim fate.
Marvel Zombies Supreme 2011, the scariest zombie plague yet. The Squadron Supreme has gone supremely evil. The 5-issue series introduces a brand new zombie plague to a brand new universe. It all begins at the top-secret Project Pegasus facility, where the superhuman Squadron Supreme has been cloned. A brilliant but demented geneticist decides to mess with powers he doesn't understand. The result is a fresh, virulent zombie strain that infects the mighty Squadron Supreme. Heroes exiled from another dimension, turning them into cannibalistic monsters with a serious hunger problem.
Marvel Zombies destroy 2012. What is worse than zombies? Zombie Nazis. This 5-issue story takes place in an alternate reality where the Nazis won World War II using a zombie virus. Howard the Duck, working for the Multiverse monitoring agency ARMORR, discovers a universe where the Nazis didn't lose World War II. They became zombies led by an undead Red Skull and won. The zombie Nazis are building a dimensional warship called Valhalla's Hammer to spread their virus across the multiverse. To stop them, Howard assembles a misfit team of forgotten heroes and World War II veterans known as Ducky's Dozen, led by the legendary soldier Dum Dum Dugan. Along the way, they encounter zombie versions of classic World War II heroes like the Invaders, and even a zombified Asgard.
Marvel Zombies Battle World 2015. It is a limited series that was a tie-in to the larger Secret Wars 2015 event. The story takes place on Battle World, a patchwork planet created by the all-powerful Dr. Doom. After the multiverse was destroyed, Dr. Doom used the Beyonders' power to create Battle World from the remnants of different universes. The series is a self-contained story set in the domain known as the Deadlands, a region constantly threatened by the Marvel Zombies. This zombie-infested zone was separated from the more civilized domains by a massive wall called the Shield, which was constantly defended by surviving heroes and characters like the supernatural hunter Elsa Bloodstone.
Marvel Zombies Resurrection 2020, a modern retelling for new fans. It was a modern reboot by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Leonard Kirk, where the infection is connected to Galactus. It reboots the Marvel Zombies franchise with a new origin for the zombie plague, which arrives on Earth in the corpse of Galactus. The impact? Marvel Zombies proved that readers love darker, more twisted takes on their favorite heroes. It also opened a door for more horror-themed Marvel stories and multiverse explorations, paving the way for today's MCU multiverse sagas.
Other key zombie stories beyond the main Marvel Zombies titles, other key stories include Marvel Zombies Halloween 2012. It is a chilling one-shot comic set years after the outbreak that provides a short, self-contained story set within the terrifying world of the zombie apocalypse. It focuses on the human element of the catastrophe rather than just the gore. In the terrifying world of Marvel Zombies, one survivor, a grown-up Kitty Pryde, is desperately trying to protect her young son Peter. Years after the world ended, Peter, who has only known this nightmare reality, discovers the forgotten holiday of Halloween and begs his mom to let him trick-or-treat. Kitty, a fiercely protective mother, reluctantly agrees to venture out for candy, leaving Peter alone. But things go wrong fast. Peter chases his new kitten Blackie outside and into a seemingly normal house with the lights on. His mother came to rescue, but the zombified heroes corner Peter and Kitty. Just as all hope seems lost, a powerful figure appears, Mephisto, the devil himself. Mephisto kills the zombies, revealing he saved them so he can one day claim Peter's soul. Kitty refuses his offer, and Mephisto leaves, promising he'll be back with a deal Peter can't refuse. The one-shot ends on a bittersweet note. Peter has no candy, but he has his mother, and a glimmer of hope that someday the world might be better.
Marvel Zombies Black, White, and Blood 2024. Marvel Zombies is back and gorier than ever in Black, White, and Blood. It is a 4-issue anthology horror series that presents various self-contained what-if stories of a brutal zombie apocalypse across the Marvel multiverse. What if the Marvel heroes you love wanted to eat you? The iconic heroes and villains are back from the dead and hungrier than ever. This isn't one continuous story, it's a collection of horrifying, action-packed tales, all rendered in stark black and white, with vivid splashes of red for that glorious gore. Each issue drops you into different corners of a zombicide multiverse. is zombified Daredevil fighting in an undead cage match. Daredevil, now a fully infected zombie but retaining his intelligence and fighting skills, is captured. He's forced to fight in a gladiatorial arena for the entertainment of a group of uninfected humans who have survived the apocalypse and are now in positions of power. Frank Castle, aka Punisher, discovers the Fight Club. Instead of simply killing his longtime rival, he offers Daredevil a choice: either be killed immediately or eat hidden claymore mines and become a walking bomb to destroy the Fight Club and everyone in it. Daredevil, still possessing some fragmented sense of his former self and the desire for justice, chooses the latter option. The next day in the ring, with the mines inside him, the Punisher detonates the explosives from the surface, killing Daredevil and all of his captors in a massive explosion. His story is a tragic end that highlights the twisted morality and desperation in a world overrun by the undead.
Spider-Man, despite his own hunger, desperately tries to protect the last few survivors at the Daily Bugle, battling zombified versions of his closest loved ones from the growing horde, including his own zombified Aunt May. But he is too late. Mary Jane has already bitten Aunt May. Recognizing there's no hope for May and wanting to spare her from a slow, agonizing transformation into a zombie, Peter makes the difficult decision to end her life quickly and mercifully. He apologizes to her before doing so, seeing it as the only humane option in a world without hope.
Moon Knight faces off against an undead Iron Man in a bloody, brutal battle and the god Anubis, which leads to a surprising and dark ending for both characters. Iron Man attacks Moon Knight, managing to get the upper hand and biting Moon Knight, infecting him with the zombie virus. Seeing that Moon Knight now has the advantage, Anubis abandons Iron Man, leaving Tony without his divine empowerment. Moon Knight then easily overpowers and brutally kills Iron Man. Moon Knight survives the encounter, but now a zombified avatar bound to Khonshu, who promises to feed him. Moon Knight is left as a superpowered zombie god, continuing his violent service to Khonshu in the ravaged world. Other stories feature Blade, the Punisher, X-Force, and even zombie dinosaurs in the Savage Land. Each of these reimaginings kept the zombie plague alive for new generations of readers.
Honorable mention, Headpool.
In 2019, Marvel released one of its strangest and most unique series, Deadpool, Merc with a Mouth, 2009 to 2010. Here, we meet Deadpool's zombified head, famously known as Headpool, a bizarre cult favorite character who even made a surprise appearance in the MCU's Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Can you believe it? No body, just a talking head, and still shaking up the entire multiverse with pure personality. Fans even remember Headpool as one of the legendary members of the Deadpool Corps.
Exactly. In Merc with a Mouth, Deadpool travels to an alternate reality, where he discovers the severed zombie head of another version of himself. What's crazy is that even without a body, Headpool can talk, bite, and crack hilarious one-liners that make every scene both chaotic and hilarious. In the Marvel Zombies continuity, he's this perfect mix of comic relief and horror, terrifying as a zombie, yet still full of that classic Deadpool sarcasm.
So basically, he's a flesh-eating, joke-spitting, one-headed chaos machine. Honestly, he deserved his own show, The Adventures of Headpool. Can you imagine that?
Actually, Headpool became so popular that Marvel brought him back as a member of the Deadpool Corps, alongside Dogpool, Kidpool, and Lady Deadpool. For fans, Headpool isn't just a zombie. He's proof that in the Deadpool multiverse, the fun and madness never stop.
Exactly. Even in the dark, gory world of Marvel Zombies, Headpool reminds us that there's always room for a good laugh, even when it's just a talking head.
The Cure and its failure. In Marvel Zombies 2, 2007, the story reached a grim conclusion. Black Panther and the surviving humans search for a cure. Black Panther even helps build a safe haven, trying to save what's left of Earth.
Finally, someone's fixing things.
The surviving zombies, having consumed nearly everything in the universe, discover a way back to Earth, but the cure could only slow the hunger, it never erased it. The cosmic-powered zombies, after devouring Galactus in Marvel Zombies number 3, 2008, spread the infection across galaxies.
Back to the Earth, the zombies face the last surviving humans, including T'Challa, Black Panther. After brutal battles, a cure is partially found, but the devastation is irreversible. The cure failed to stop the outbreak. Eventually, some found redemption while others remained monsters, leaving the fate of Earth 2149 forever scarred. The core Earth 2149 storyline ended in an apocalypse of its own making. At the end at Marvel Zombies 2, number 5, Malcolm Cortez, the leader of the Acolytes, a group of human survivors in New Wakanda, used a dimensional portal to banish the remaining hero zombies from his universe, Earth 2149, to another dimension. Thus, the Marvel Zombies were no longer just one Earth's problem. They became the multiverse's nightmare.
The ultimate message? Even the greatest heroes, when stripped of morality and consumed by hunger, can become the universe's greatest monsters.
Legacy and MCU connection. And that was the terrifying saga of the Marvel Zombies universe, one of Marvel's darkest yet most beloved alternate timelines. From Ultimate Fantastic Four, number 21, 2005, to Marvel Zombies Resurrection, 2020, this storyline became a cult classic. Marvel Zombies left an unforgettable mark on comic book history. It showed Marvel's willingness to take risks, to horrify, and to thrill in equal measure.
And now, with Marvel Studios adding Marvel Zombies into the MCU as an animated project, the undead multiverse is about to infect a whole new audience. So, what happens when our greatest heroes become our deadliest nightmares? That's the chilling question that keeps Marvel Zombies alive even years after its debut.
This was the complete breakdown of the Marvel Zombies universe. If you enjoyed this dark journey, hit like, share, and subscribe to Legendary Villains.
So, let's settle this in the comments. Which Marvel zombie hero scared you the most? Who's scarier, Hulk with eternal hunger or Spider-Man crying as he eats his loved ones?
This was the story of how Earth 2149 fell. If you want more tales from the darkest corners of comic universe, subscribe to Legendary Villains. Until next time, stay safe and beware the hunger of the multiverse. Because sometimes, our heroes are the real monsters.
Bye-bye.